Welcome home. This is Audio EXP for June 28th, and the episode title is Before Lucca. Diane Ramic won the RPG Publisher Spotlight this month, and Diane has a colouring book on Amazon called Dragons and Dragons and Dragons. But it was her sci-fi and fantasy stock art that caught Geek Native patrons' attention. I think one of the reasons for this is that Diane thinks about the physics and biology when designing creatures, and therefore you can be confident that her xenobiology won't embarrass you if you use the stock art to, for example, show your players what an encounter looks like. And Bronwyn also had a big interview this week with Monkey from Dusk Wave Arts. Monkey is a developer for Stuck in the Present, which is currently demoing on Steam. It's a psychological side-scrolling horror. And we wind up talking about many things, including the names of the characters, one of whom is called Fae, and here in Scotland, Fae are a supernatural people. Not to be outdone, but I also had an interview with an indie designer, Sebastian Yue. I met Sebastian at UK Games Expo, and it was great catching up again after the show. Sebastian's game is The Model Minister, which is a third-party adventure for Spire. And speaking of UK Games Expo, it's worth noting that the biggest and baddest of all the geeky conventions is coming up. And I wrote a guide for Lucca on Geek Native. Now this is a giant event. It runs from July the 5th to July 24th. Yes, 3 whole weeks. In tabletop games, we are expecting a lot from Asmodee Italia and Bandai card games, but there's also indies like Wildsea, and of course there's going to be a D&D crossover. Each Lucca pays homage to a country, and this year it's France, and the theme is French Kiss. I don't see that taking off at Birmingham. I didn't see Synthetics get a mention in Lucca's press either, but that does not mean Dark Horse aren't taking the new series there. But it did get a mention at Geek Native. Synthetics is written by J. Michael Straczynski, the creator of Babylon 5, and will explore what it means to be human when the world is dying. Guest author Tony Struder has also thinking about conventions and how to navigate them. There's an excellent article on the blog all about cosplay, looking good, and staying comfortable while you're there. And that's something I think about a lot. I'm all for it, because it's really quite hard coping with the trappings of a blogger when you're trying to cover the event. And last week we were talking about Evil Hat backing out of the Tomb Raider TTRPG, and how I thought that setting-based series made for easier tabletop conversions than character-based ones. And case in point, Cubicle 7 has now released a second edition of the Laundry TTRPG. And Charlie Stross's series certainly has characters in it, but it's also very much about this Lovecraftian and red tape world. It's easy to go from reading the books to imagining what an adventure with other characters in that world would be like. Now for me, unusually, a fashion post caught my attention, and it wasn't a t-shirt. Merchoid, they who pay affiliates so little, but at least they have affiliate program, has a range of USA-style Warhammer 40k sport shirts. I think my favourite is probably the Space Wolves, mainly because it's least likely to get mistaken for a Scottish football top, and therefore least likely to cause me grief. Lastly, there's a bundle to tell you about, and that's Coward Collection at the Bundle of Holding. There's something like 1,000 pages of monsters on offer. That's it. That's a wrap. Keep safe, and see you next week.